I'd like to call now on Ruby Gilbert from her Beading group. I think actually you're the teacher, are you not? Yeah.
My name is Ruby Gilbert. Irene was a very dear friend of mine, and I'm honored to be here representing the Beading group. I first met Irene many years ago while playing bridge at Rogers Bridge Club. One day, Irene approached me and asked if she could join in my jewelry making classes. I was so happy to welcome Irene, as she was a wonderful addition and made so much of our group. Over the course of the past 20 years, Irene became a regular at the beading sessions at my home, where we all made lovely handmade beaded jewelry. As you know, Irene just didn't make beaded jewelry. She also made beautiful beaded coin purses that we were just talking about. Most likely, many of you are fortunate enough to have at least one of these purses, and I can only imagine how many of these little beauties she made. One day, not so long ago, I asked Irene and said, "Why do you keep making so many of those wonderful purses and then giving most of them away?" Irene's response was, "I just like to put a smile on people's faces." Irene's passion and care for others certainly did not go unnoticed. In preparation for speaking to you today, I asked the ladies in the bead group to describe the qualities that they love most about Irene. Some of the words they chose were happy, loving, serious, but the majority of them were Irene related to her kindness, generosity, and caring nature. These responses were not a surprise at all, as this is the Irene I came to know and love. Beyond Irene's compassionate nature, there was a real analytic mind that would surface when reading and following jewelry patterns. I can clearly remember a piece of jewelry the class was working on that involved a few tricky steps. Irene analyzed the steps of this pattern and came up with a new way that could create the same lovely effect, but with fewer steps. When she described the Irene way of doing this, I was amazed at how she had figured this out and was very impressed. I immediately adjusted my pattern, and I shared Irene's pattern with the rest of the group. This was not the only time Irene approached her beading in an analytic way. That was always the way to cut corners and be very efficient. I will personally miss so many things about Irene, but I mainly miss her friendship. On behalf of my beading group, I would like to send our deepest condolences to all of her family. And we hope we can find joy in reminiscing over the memories of Irene that you cherish together. I love you, Irene.